They can take care of business right here. All they've got to do is beat the most intimidating roster Europe has ever seen. I know that's a bold claim, but you've got Monkey Moon, Extra, and Seiko. They only got better, if you can believe that. And now, the #1 guaranteed seed for Europe tries to take care of business yet again.
A lot of expectation as well for BDS. Imagine if they actually ended up losing this one to Endpoint. Starts the question if they pull the G2 or they just flip at the finish line on the final regional. They would like to make their three-peat.
G2 kind of fumbling at the finish line there as this shot going to be sent away by Relating Wave. It got us thinking too when Falcons swept the region, not just, a split. They went 9 for 9, winning all of their regional events in the MENA region. Had anybody ever done it in Europe? No, and not even the great Team BDS squads of RLCSX. They slipped up somewhere along the way. A team like Endpoint would get them. Vitality, somebody would nip them at some point. Ooh. As Extra waiting on the doorstep, shots sent away. But Team BDS are just swarming the Endpoint half of the field at the moment. Archie trying to catch this one off the bounce. Oh. He's got through, but Extra's there to stop him. Metsonoris denied on the doorstep by Monkey Moon. And somehow Endpoint don't get the opening goal.
That Endpoint counterattack, so dangerous, even if it does come with a bit of a risk. You don't like to give a lot of space or time with BDS playing offense, but see if they've got a pretty good midfield setup, because that would probably be their biggest route to success. Metza with a chance. He had everybody beat up above the bar. That's Archie. He will turn it in. Nice little placement on the pass, catching BDS flat-footed on the goal line with just enough pace to get over everybody.
Everybody jumps, everybody gets beat. Archie gets the opening goal here. One of the weirder roster changes of the time in between splits here, with Archie on loan from Semper. We hadn't really seen it in the RLCS. We've seen it for one-off events, but this is kind of an extended version, as Seiko will go up to challenge Archie. Not his former teammate. Archie is the replacement for Seiko. Heard Relating Wave say they kind of miss Seiko, and it's hard not to.
Yeah.
They're going to get plenty of them here, whether they like it or not. Archie couldn't get this. It pinballs around, and Relating Wave rolls it out. Oh, it works out perfectly for Endpoint. Here comes Archie from the ceiling.
Goodness.
Archie Pickball comes through.
You're going to go all the way here after you get the most bonkers pinball clear in the series, probably in this tournament so far. No idea how BDS don't put one into the back there. I mean, the missed touch from Archie, you think their fate is sealed, and then his teammate bails him out, kicks it up into his nose, and you go the distance. You're up 2, maybe 3. Unfortunately, Metza and Archie not able to combine their powers to put this one kind of out of reach. You go under halfway. Never mind.
Extra just barely got there. Actually, Extra's had a couple critical touches, either against the ball or an attacker, as Seiko will send one out to the side, denying any kind of follow-up effort. It was a touch right off the kickoff, where I think it was Relating Wave just got slowed up a little bit, and he couldn't get forward as much as he would have liked. I think if he avoids contact there, it would have been 3-0. Not that that's an insurmountable lead at any point.
I'm getting exactly what I wanted here out of Endpoint.
I know, right?
I wanted to see a really tough midfield defense, and so far it's been pretty much just that for the past couple of minutes. BDS really struggling to find a way out of their own half. Relating Wave is going to smash a ball through. Archie will collect his 3rd goal on the day. And what a show from Endpoint in Game 1.
Archie with a natural hat trick of his own to start the series. Less than 3 minutes in. It's not as impressive as 3 goals in 30 seconds, but that team lost. So, maybe by spacing it out a little bit and giving BDS less time to come back, they improve their chances of getting a game off a team that is, and I can't believe I'm saying this, 42-12 in games in this split.
Absolutely stunning from BDS. 11-0 in the series as well. Have yet to lose one. Definitely a daunting task to undertake, but so far, Endpoint looking pretty up to it. But a best of 7 is a marathon and not a sprint. But you can never complain if you start off on the right foot.
Archie will take this almost out of harm's way after the demo by Metsonoris, taking out his former teammate, but Here comes Seiko, right at Relating Wave, and he's got the clear as well. Tell you what, these teams not caught up in any sentimental mess here with their former teammate. They're taking the fight right to him. Seiko couldn't get this central. And Extra twirling around, burning a lot of boost just to keep that ball from going any further downfield. Problem is, it did in the end. Seiko towards Monkey Moon, Relating Wave will intercept. And right now, it feels like Team Endpoint has Team BDS downloaded, at least for one game, but it's a very small sample size in our best of 7 in the upper bracket.
I would not be surprised to see BDS try and take a little bit more of a trap-focused approach moving forward in this series if they can. Kind of just roll the nose back if anything's in the air, try and stick it on the car. Is that one just off the wall? Endpoint fortunate to not concede one back, but time definitely the biggest problem for BDS at the moment. They're going to slip up on the banana peel at the start of the series, it would seem.
One lob towards the BDS net again. That's just been the theme of game 1. Everything on the orange half of the pitch as Team Endpoint have utterly dominated Team BDS to the tune of at least 3-0. And Metsanor trying to add one more for good measure. He will not, courtesy of Extra. 3 is enough as Endpoint gets a convincing dub to open the series.
All right, there we go. Excellent challenge game at the midfield line. Definitely try and take away as many opportunities as you can. It started off real well for BDS, if you remember that first minute and a half or so. A lot of decent pressure over on that Endpoint side of the pitch. Unfortunately for them, though, not able to materialize into any scores. But is that something you can sustain is the question, because all it takes is a little bit of physicality, open up a few holes for BDS to clear the ball a little easier, and suddenly you start asking yourself a lot of questions. Okay, how many times can you fend that off? Can you reset? Can you regain possession often enough? So great start, but long way to go.
A very long way to go as we go to Aquadome for game 2. And I wonder what BDS has for a follow-up after that. Can't get much worse. I mean, you go down 0-3 in game 1, minimal quality looks at the net. This is a team that is still 11-0, and they are undefeated until somebody else says otherwise as we get ready for game 2. I have a feeling the best is yet to come here in the Super 16 for Team BDS. Game 2, out to a similar start, though. It is Endpoint knocking on the doorstep. And Archie, not there. Seiko, powerful clear, dangerous. And Metanoris caught up with Monkey Moon kind of racing him to the point as well.
And there's that physicality from BDS as well, trying to open up some gaps, but that ball control a little bit lacking. BDS going to have to work a little bit harder if they want to ensure they get possession.
You know, in years past, we would always talk about, you know, the team that wins game 1 and the percentage chance they have to win the series. Got to have
oh my days.
Fans
oh my
stick
days.
to their stomach right now as Relating Wave adds another.
That's just the worst case scenario for BDS. You have 2 people rotating back, parallel lines with the ball going about the same pace. Neither of them really has the cleanest cut back into the ball because one of them is headed into Relating Wave. The other one is headed towards the net, and you're not entirely sure how to handle it. And the answer is Relating Wave says, cool, you're just going to let it roll into the corner. I'm just going to win a challenge, poke it all the way into the top right side of your net. Great start again for Endpoint.
By far, Team BDS's best shot at getting on the scoreboard in this series came around the midpoint of game 1, where that shot just pinballed around like it was a Terminator pinball machine, as Monkey Moon denied by Metsanor trying to weave through traffic. And now Archie and Metza will combine to get this downfield and central, more importantly, but nobody else was there. Relating Wave way back. Metsanor is going to try to do this himself. He's got Archie in the midfield. Seiko there to make the initial stop. And a clever pass intended for somebody, but nobody believed. Metanoris on his way back makes the save.
Yeah, I think everybody on Endpoint knew that ball was headed left and not towards the goal. And unfortunately for them, BDS saw it too. Just went out there, took it away. Metza gets speed, but Extra was expecting a challenge. He went way over the top of the ball. And Endpoint are fortunate there. This one's not tied up.
By the way, quick correction, and this just makes the stat even more impressive. 12-0. In series this split for Team BDS. Before that game, yes, they had lost as many games as they had won series in the spring split. Adding Seiko just made it a cheat code. It really did. Here's Relating Wave. All day to play this ball. He'll get it over to Metsanorish. He's going to let this go.
Yeah.
And that slow play did not work out at all. Seiko had him read like a book. Relating Wave right at extra. Monkey Moon is up quickly, and Archie just got a piece of it.
Bump.
And then Seiko gets bumped to the backboard.
Ooh, but unfortunately, they don't have the cleanest transition. It did require precision to get the job done there. Archie is going to finagle it through everybody. Unfortunately, that includes his own teammate in Relating Wave, who is ready to receive. But the cost of beating BDS means you don't get a scoring opportunity, and here they come once more. And they will not convert. Gonna ping around off the bar, down off the floor, and into the safety of the side wall. Tough luck for BDS.
And at this point, with all these near misses, you wonder, will they ever score? Yes, they will. See? There you go. Extra puts one right down Broadway off the feed from Monkey Moon, and there will be no perfect sweep here.
Yeah, and I think Relating Wave was the last man there, either them or Metanoris, but somewhere along the line, somebody jumped for a challenge that they had no business going for, and they both collided, and they were never going to make it back in time. Just a bit of a gaffe from Endpoint, and they are justifiably punished.
Oh, big demolition on Monkey Moon, but Extra still got the shot off, so Relating Wave had to come down from his perch on the backboard just to make sure. Now Seiko trying to do it himself, and Relating Wave sends that away. Metza in a real tough spot, has to bounce this out of harm's way, but Monkey Moon right back to the center. Extra's waiting, not a lot of boost on the side of Endpoint, nice. But they do clear the zone. A brief reprieve as Monkey Moon will try and get it back quickly.
Some bombs off the backboard here. And ball gathering speed, and will end up favoring Endpoint here. BDS taking great care to secure their own corner boosts. No, they can't afford to get boost starved with this ball hovering so high up in the corners and above the bar as much as it is. Comes down to the floor. Monkey Moon, great pinch clear.
And an excellent read, too, to realize he could get that out of the zone quickly. Now Metsanorish just ahead of Seiko, but Monkey Moon is right there. His shot. Oh, no, it's on the crossbar. Oh, he's hit everything except the net. And now he has BDS in front.
Thought for sure Endpoint were going to find a clear here. Nice little bit of physicality from Seiko. Extra needed the help. I thought Relating Wave might have been able to get to it, but upon further review, the ball actually placed beautifully well out of reach of Relating Wave, and Monkey Moon snipes it top right. Great closing shot for BDS to try and tie things up in the series.
No surprise that Hillary would be cheering for all the French players, but they watched that French team give up another one. This time Relating Wave adding his second as he just single-handedly beats two and ties the game.
Well, and Extra got caught kind of hovering in the midfield. He's not like in a bad spot. The only problem is he's got no boost. And as soon as Relating Wave just steals that ball, he's like, I'm not set up to handle this. And the team paid the price.
We've had 6 overtimes today. We could be headed for a 7th. Monkey Moon disagrees. Tried to take it himself. Oh, he had 2 going, but Seiko couldn't get around for the shot. Oh, now Extra. Easily at Archie, and he'll try to bring this to ground. Seiko almost got to it, but we do go to overtime for the 7th time today. Half have been under a minute, half have been over a minute, but none over 2. As Archie brings it in, he'll try to end it quickly, and he got a piece of Seiko, but that's sent away.
Oh, but they throw it right back to him.
By Relating Wave. Oh, we've seen some of these cheeky counterattacks achieved, some that have almost no business getting started, but they do.
Oh, just squeezing the ball through some incredibly tight windows, and for some reason people are in position to receive them and try and make something happen, and over on the other side defense is having to make some snap decisions. Monkey Moon little float into the middle trying to tie up all of Endpoint. Extra is trying to figure out exactly the line he needs to take, and Endpoint will stave off another BDS push.
I think the Endpoint defense at this point can be summed up by, oh my god, panic. There's Relating Wave denied by Seiko. it's working out for Endpoint, at least for now. They're on the offensive end. And they'll score! Monkey Moon couldn't get to it. Metsenoris makes it a 2-0 series.
There's two people in the net. Monkey Moon's playing near post. Seiko is rotating back post, and it's just over his shoulder. Seiko probably not thinking he has to actually make a save. I mean, his teammate's right there, right? But the ball was placed so well with just enough force. BDS, reeling after being up, looking like they're going to win this one. And then, of course, it's Relating Wave over the midfield. Free opportunity. Extra with no boost can do nothing. They can see the equalizer and then a disaster in overtime. Oh, man.
Yeah, you know what? This is all my fault. There I go again with all that meta commentary. Is BDS going to score? They score. And then BDS hasn't lost. They can't be beaten, right? Well, they're down 0-2 in the series. We're not there yet. Calm down, BDS fans. We're not there just yet. We got halfway there. The team's got a foot into the lower bracket already.
You are 1 foot in the grave, that's for sure. If you're BDS, this is...
How big is this, though, for Endpoint? I mean, they've got all this pressure on them, and it really is simple. Win and you knock two teams out of major contention, but more importantly, win and you secure at least a spot in the world's wild card.
Yeah, and Solary and
Evil Geniuses, yeah.
Yes, Evil Geniuses are just sitting there like, guys, you're 12-0. Why are you down 2-0? Stop it. We'd like to still have a chance, please.
Especially after EG did part of their job earlier today. They got the win over K-Corp. They'll need another over Liquid. They need to get at least second place to have a shot at the major, unless Team Endpoint just decides to take them out of the equation right now. That, of course, requires fewer goals out of Team BDS as well, and I still think the best is yet to come here. Metsenoris indirect for himself, denied by Extra. This is still headed deeper into the zone, but a good catch by Seiko tees up Monkey Moon. The teams will go back and forth, having to use that wall to great effect. The direct path almost never works out, as that's just out of the reach of Archie. But everybody back for Team BDS except Seiko, who gets the demolition on Metsenoris. That opens up an opportunity. Extra coming in, and he almost scored, but Metsenoris will clear that away. That was a lot of traffic, and didn't seem like anybody was going to get a touch on the ball.
Ooh, and Endpoint getting some good boost deals with some physicality on the goal line as well. Metza is just going to stall himself at the top of the box. Unfortunately, not able to put anything in a more dangerous position, but Endpoint actually in a great spot here. A huge boost advantage.
Oh, Metza almost got there again. You talk about not really having a direct path to the net work out. It did work out okay for Metza at the end of overtime just a moment ago. Somehow that one got through. But now Seiko leaves the second touch instead for Monkey Moon, but that's easily sent away. Again, these teams so familiar with each other. I mean, they've seen just about every trick their opponents have up their sleeve. Relating Wave waiting for the corner boost. It didn't spawn for him, so he's stuck on the backboard, and Archie got that boost instead. So he's going to take a big part of this defensive effort, and he does clear to the backboard.
BDS just trying to figure out a way where they can connect on any one of these passes and communication as well. Perhaps figuring out Seiko's got no boost and just let Monkey Moon go for it. And BDS struggling to connect with any of their teammates. They have been pretty good at poking the ball down over onto the blue side. Metza, a nice little tip away out into the corner, but BDS starts getting some passes connected and really starting to... Oh, that's a big whiff. That's a goal.
It sure is. Archie scored the first 3. Relating Wave scored the next 2. Metsenoris with a brief intermission in there in overtime, and then Relating Wave gets back to his scoring ways. The man wants to go to London.
I mean, you just might if you keep missing the easy touches like that. That's tough for Extra. I mean, makeable play, and Relating Wave one-on-one off the wall, and Metza just has to buy time here for BDS, but I don't know. Can you really expect to hold on to a 1-0 against BDS? I'd actually say right now, almost certainly. The BDS offense has just not been able to get started against Endpoint. They've been challenging the ball incredibly well.
Relating Wave will dish one off to Archie. As the Team BDS offense looking a little bit more like the Team Vitality offense. Metza Norris over towards Relating Wave, intercepted by Monkey Moon, and Metza can only pop one up. Everybody on deck defensively, and Seiko's shot never got through. Now Monkey Moon diving into the corner. Again, there's just nothing there for Team BDS. Extra will try Seiko. Couldn't get in Archie's way. Didn't allow the full clear. So Monkey Moon just allowed to casually bring that to Seiko. And then that's when the defense pounces. Relating Wave with the save as well. Nearly put that off of Archie and maybe into the net. But it's okay for now. But that, oh God, panic kind of defense finally gets punished, and Extra will tie the game.
And that's just a great bit of positioning from Extra. Going to make up for the miss on the free read across, but understood that there was a pinch coming across from the backboard. The only way the defense was going to clear it was going to be out there. Made the right decision, cut rotation, hang out on the other side of the net, get a free chance at the goal, and he delivered. Great shot from Extra.
Well, now Archie trying to answer right back, put a lot of pace behind that shot, but Monkey Moon was ready for it. Archie trying to get an Extra's way, could not. And Metza Norris, that's a desperate touch if I ever saw one, and Relating Wave bailed him out.
Some solid boost stealing going on for BDS as well in that endpoint corner. Not amounting to too much in terms of extra pressure. Archie with a chance to get over Seiko, but unfortunately floated a little bit too far under the ball, ended up skying it. And overtime looking more and more likely, barring a miracle. Relating Wave is going to put the drip on straight down the faucet for Metza.
Remember when Batira came from out of nowhere to, win a game? Oh, what a touch by Relating Wave. Got the demo, camps up on the backboard, right place, right time to drop it down. Metza Norris gets his second goal, but a big tip of the cap to Relating Waves. Seiko couldn't answer back, and Archie pops one away from Monkey Moon.
Oh, boy.
I'm not going to get over that, but Metza's got to get back to this, and he does. Puts it off his own backboard, and then makes the follow-up save against Seiko as well. Extra forced to bring it all the way back to the corner again, and Archie trying to thread the needle. There was some daylight there, but Seiko shut it down inside 30 seconds with Team BDS trying to scramble here, trying to avoid being swept in the spring split. Seiko, double no. Archie's there. Extra to follow. That's high. Monkey Moon can't tie it. Somebody put one on the net. They finally do. There's a defender in the way. Archie with the save that sends BDS packing back to their own defensive end. Seiko's got to get up for it with 2 seconds. Second touch on the way for Monkey Moon. And Archie has this. He can bring this to ground and does so.
And Monkey Moon is trying his best to tip that one across the box, but when you're playing on such a thin margin of error as 0 seconds and you're trying to cover as many things as possible, sometimes you just don't have the positioning to make it work. Endpoint going to get stingy on the goal line. They're going to make, 8, 9, 10, 11 saves off of 14 shots from Team BDS to stall out a one-goal lead, I should say. And oh my goodness gracious me. What is going on here?
To the surprise of exactly nobody. Timeout Team BDS. Down 3-0 in the series. And you know what? I love this. This is a team that has number one locked up. We know they are, if they haven't clinched the world's main event spot, they're probably going to at some point before all is said and done. They're still going to take this time out at 0-3. They're still competing. It'd be so easy for a team in this spot to go, all right, I guess we'll just kind of bomb out here. We'll make the lower bracket run. We'll just go win London, whatever. No, they want to remain undefeated the whole way. There's kind of a desperation there they have to admire in a competitor. Meanwhile, on the side of Endpoint, the familiar sight of the team out of their chairs, up, stretching, getting loose, realizing they are 5 minutes on Utopia Coliseum away from clinching a spot at least the world's wild card in Dallas. This is a monumental moment for Endpoint.
Yeah, huge opportunity for Endpoint. They'd love to have the opportunity to lock in and really secure that chance to go to Dallas. As for this game specifically, Seiko been kept dead quiet 0
that one
goals,
assist.
the only person in the lobby.
Yeah, he had the
Been
one assist
tough.
in that last game. That's it. And we're
That is
about
not
to see it, in fact, at some
yeah.
point here, as we look at the replay from game 3. That was the assist.
That was it.
That was the assist. It really wasn't much of a pass. There was a ball that was cleared off the backboard that Extra happened to be there for. So now Team BDS kept, minimal offense. Outscored now, I'm doing quick math, 8-3 in this series. Shut out for the first 7 or so minutes. Something's got to change. That timeout was their opportunity to do just that. We'll see if offense is in the cards as we go to Utopia. Could be the final game of I can't believe this, a sweep of Team BDS. I don't think Monkey Moon's going to let that happen. At some point, it might just be give me the ball and get out of the way. As Metza couldn't put that one home. They were right on the door. And now Archie's not going to get around on a shot. It goes right to Seiko. And now we'll see the young guy work.
It's about what I'm expecting. And Metza thorn in the side on that Endpoint half specifically. Talk about a guy who I wrote off maybe 3 years ago as never going to be near the top of EU again. What a turnaround he's had. Huge defensive showing this series specifically, but that's the North continuing to deliver in the big games.
It would be kind of bittersweet for Dignitas if Endpoint were to put this away here or at any point now the rest of the series. An Endpoint win would also clinch a world championship spot for Dig, but then it would also send Team BDS down to the lower bracket to face Dignitas. It's like, here you go. Merry Christmas. By the way, have fun.
That's a real backhanded compliment, isn't it?
Yeah. This is Seiko, though.
Okay.
Indirect. Relating wave makes the
my
stop
days.
right on the goal line. I don't know how he was able to react quick enough. It looked like Seiko had him dead to rights. And then Seiko jumps up ahead of Metza Norris to avoid the contact, make the save. Now he's downfield. Could not get the dunk on wave.
Good grief. Endpoint defense. What are you going to do?
I don't know how it works. It's almost like WWE writing. It shouldn't work, but it does. Seiko cut this one away as Archie racing extra to the ball.
Okay.
And Seiko shot denied by Metza Norris. It's just uncanny.
They're trying to feed the guy, too. We're sitting here saying Seiko has yet to score the whole series, and they're like, all right, Seiko, start shooting everything. And Endpoint's still just like, no.
It is unbelievable. Relating wave. No way they score this. No, Monkey Moon. It was wide anyways. Monkey Moon got the clear away. Now Archie intended for relating wave. Extra read it. And that is BDS's strength, cutting out those infield passing plays. And then Archie has to make the stop here. His third already. And Metza Norris and Archie will combine to send this back towards the orange half. And Extra couldn't get the second touch he needed. Here comes Endpoint again. Metza, no.
Yep.
Relating wave off the crossbar. Could not get it underneath.
Liked the aggression from Metza there. Just throw it off the wall one more time. Put it more in reach of your last player. Unfortunately, Relating Wave not able to squeeze that one under the bar. And BDS actually may have a counterattack here. Just kidding. Relating Wave's going to break it up out of the midfield.
And Relating Wave broke it up already. Got the demo, and then Monkey Moon with the save. Seiko spawns ball side, so he's going to be stuck without boost for a while because everybody picked up everything on that side.
He's going to score!
Seiko scored! After all of that, that's how Seiko gets his first goal of the series.
It took just a flat whiff. Even he's taking it back. I went to his camera. He took ball cam off. He was about to leave, and then he just saw him float by, and he's like, wait, really? I get this one? All right.
I think the players, you can see them there. I don't think they could really quite comprehend what just happened, other than Team BDS has a lead. And we haven't said that much. Monkey Moon to the backboard. That will come off cleanly. And Extra swatted away by Relating Wave. Endpoint have not trailed for very long in this series, and they almost tied again. Metza Norris into a sea of BDS defenders. Up to the backboard again. Monkey Moon's got it away, and he can stay with this, which, of course, is deadly. And Archie right out towards Extra. That's a good win, though, to get it by Metza Norris. Liking what we're seeing now out of Endpoint, trying to tie up this game, but nobody else could get there. Monkey Moon and Metza, I think, got caught up.
I gotta say, Endpoint learning some things. They're starting to really nail this counterattack approach. Huge steal from Extra. Has to be 2. Has to be. It will.
And who else but Seiko is, I mean, he certainly wasn't needed for this play. Extra did it plenty well on his own, but Seiko with the extra touch right at the end, just to make sure. 47 seconds remain. Endpoint, you got to feel like...
gain back up, you know?
Yeah, right? Endpoint, you got to feel like they got to score within 20 seconds here to give themselves a realistic shot. The problem is they almost conceded one. Here goes Archie. After the demo against Seiko, Relating Wave is there. And Metzanor's got to chase this down on the side. Coming up on 30 seconds. Metza only slowed down temporarily. Relating Wave coming in. He got the boost, but not the ball. Wave trying to get one out to Archie. No, sir. Demo on Seiko again. He's been a heavy target. And the path way too strong for Relating Wave. Would have needed about 10 times boost to catch up to that. Here's Metza, though, denied by Extra. Payback again.
Man.
As BDS has been stifled by the Endpoint defense time and time again. They finally come up with a clutch save of their own, and they come up with a few more to go with it. And Endpoint gets shut out with match point, an opportunity to put Team BDS away. And now achieves. We start looking. It took a lot of effort for BDS to get that one, but it is a shutout, and they finally had some things go their way.
I will say it is a shutout, but not by their own defense. It's kind of a two-sided coin thing. Yes, there's 12 saves for BDS on this stat sheet. Yes, they did have to make a lot of saves, but if you look back, there's also 15 shots for Endpoint, and those ones that aren't registered as saves got pinged off the post, off the crossbar. I think the shooting did more to harm Endpoint than BDS was thwarting them in the net. I mean, you think about the open net Relating Wave had where he just couldn't get above the ball and get it on the crossbar. That sequence that's the last 30, 45 seconds or whatever it was, a lot of decent chances to put one into the back and just couldn't quite place it properly. So shooting, I think, let Endpoint down a little bit there.
I'm just going to throw this out there because, you know, it's me. The only other EU best of 7 reverse sweep, it happened against Endpoint. It was Moist.
Oh, don't
Moist
say it.
Is waiting for the winner of this in the upper bracket finals tomorrow. I just present the facts without any other context as we go to Game 5 on Wasteland.
Don't channel the bad juju, Stacks.
Listen, failures can have his long overtimes. I'm here for Game 7s. Metza Norris will sky one in. Archie's there as well. Metza still waiting, and Monkey Moon cut him off at, again, point-blank range. And we've seen so many saves on shots just off the offensive player's car. It's been a little bit wild to see as Monkey Moon has to race back, got to the backboard. I guess that works out as Metza couldn't read it. The teams defensively are getting to shots so quickly and getting in position so fast that it's amazing that you can open up a 2 or 3 goal lead at any point. That's a good ball downfield. Archie to Metza for the lead. Denied.
No, Metza. You can't get the beautiful laydown from your teammate there and be in the one-on-one and then not absolutely blast that ball. Slight misexecution on the shot. Turned it into a much more manageable save for the BDS defense, and they're gonna get scored on 2. Yep. Monkey Moon will pick the pocket of Endpoint at the midfield. BDS out in front.
Solary fans had no doubt just kind of put their heads in their hands like, oh, this is how it goes. We waited all day for this. Hey, wait a minute. Here comes Team BDS. Trying to maintain their unbeaten record in the Spring Split as Seiko's come unleashed.
He scores 2. He scores a gimme to start it up. It kind of feels like when you're playing any other game, you know, and as it starts, you can do no wrong, but as soon as you mess up one time, now you just can't quite seem to stop the other team from making the worst things happen for you. Seiko needed a mistake, and now he's starting to find the back.
Monkey Moon trying to get around Relating Wave. Extra will follow this one up with Seiko waiting for Archie's touch. And a little indecisiveness there. He couldn't figure out exactly what BDS was trying to do getting downfield. And Monkey Moon is not going to have that midfield boost available to him, so Extra's got to burn all of his to get to this. Monkey Moon, let it go. Seiko denied by Archie as he got that out to the corner. Team BDS trying to break down. Endpoint could not get to Metanoris. And again, the focus you have to have against a team like this to defend and defend well with all the physical play coming in. It is almost superhuman.
It has been no small feat for either team to stop a lot of these pushes. Early on in the series, 100%. Endpoint really making BDS work for it, but now it is BDS out in front early, putting a lot of pressure, forcing Endpoint to be aggressive in the midfield, try and make some bigger plays, and it's pulling them out of position. And it is tough for Endpoint to hang with it.
Oh, we're letting Waves. Endpoint get downfield quickly. It's Seiko with the initial save. And Metza staying on the side wall. He's got to sprint back. Archie will slow down Team BDS, but only slow them down. It's brought right back in, and Relating Wave will have this. Endpoint given just enough time to get all set up, and they can launch a counter of their own, but they'll have to do it without Relating Wave. Lucas taken out, and now it's Seiko up ahead to Monkey Moon out of the corner, and it goes behind him instead. He was expecting maybe Seiko to be there. Metza had that demolition, and it's physical play that works out for Endpoint instead.
Extra, though, over on BDS side, becoming a big problem for Endpoint to get through. He has got such good timing right now. Understands exactly where the ball is heading, breaking up a lot of opportunities for Endpoint.
Oh, how
Archie
Seiko
denied by Seiko on the goal line.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, Archie's tracking him the whole way. Seiko gets the touch. This is just high on the other side. And Seiko denied.
Stole his boost.
Noise, but there's our Extra. It's just going to walk the dog home.
Well, Extra got a big bump here on Archie that allowed him to steal the corner boost, and Archie saw that one go off the ceiling, tries to make it with as much time as he had to recover, and unfortunately, since he didn't have a clean setup, overcooked his approach, and Extra says, yep, that's why we just throw out a little bump here or there, pull him out of position, make the play harder than it needs to be, and you get to capitalize every now and again.
Archie quickly from his own backboard, but now Monkey Moon off the feed from Seiko, denied by Archie, who was so brilliant early on. He had the hat trick in game one. And since then, just a couple of assists, a couple good looks, but nothing in the BDS net, as they have been shut out now for, well, a while. Seiko will add another 4-0. This one unassisted, but I'm sure he'll be thanking Archie for just putting that one up on a silver platform, as Relating Wave couldn't catch up. And I don't know if you really blame Endpoint at this point. They're all kind of forward, trying to chase this 3-0 deficit. Now it becomes 4, and almost certainly we start looking ahead to Neo Tokyo Game 6, where the previous series ended, but all the momentum right now belongs to Team BDS, who have not been scored on in about 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah. I'm wondering if Endpoint choose to take their timeout right here.
I would, 100%. As Metza making the save here. I mean, you take it going into Game 7. It's like, how much more momentum are you gonna let them have? I don't think 60 seconds is gonna stop Team BDS's momentum, right? Or the extra 60. So at least you take it here, and you maybe focus on not getting to Champions Field. And I know they just had a timeout a couple of games ago. Clearly they need another. Seiko can't drop one down to Extra, and it may only be a 4-0 shutout. 6-0 over the last 10 minutes as Team BDS have come roaring back. They were about to get swept to the lower bracket. They were about to hold an L for the first time in the spring split. And now all of a sudden, Team BDS has some life going into Game 6 on Neo Tokyo.
Ooh, boy. That is your big question mark. You can tell BDS definitely coming alive a little bit more. You can say in the previous game, okay, Endpoint weren't quite shooting properly. There was an opportunity to get it all the way to overtime, maybe close it out right there. You slipped up. You let BDS back in the door. Then you go here into game 5 and you just get walked all over. Extra really starting to dial in the midfield and on the back line, stopping some of those passes. Endpoint indeed going to take the timeout right here.
This timeout will be more seconds than Relating Wave had game score in that last game. They were so close, and he's been awesome. He's had 3 goals. He's had 3 assists, but everything has just come up dry for Endpoint over the last 10 minutes. And so now they take their timeout. And it worked so well for Team BDS, getting 2 in a row after their timeout. The timeout that was a little surprising after they're down 3-0, a team that has already clinched the #1 seed, but they are here to compete. They mean business. And Endpoint, if they doubted that for even a second, have had those doubts assuaged.
Well, here's the big problem for me going forward in the rest of this series, because we're about to go into game 6, maybe game 7, depending on what happens. But the biggest change for me, BDS absolutely figured out the challenge game. Games 1 through 3 couldn't put a ball through Endpoint. I mean, they had a lockdown midfield. Even on the back line, they were great at going out and cutting out some of those passes BDS were going for, breaking up a lot of those pushes. BDS is now doing the exact same thing back to Endpoint. And that leaves the other option for Endpoint. Okay, we have to try and outplay people, bring the ball down onto control. And that is just not Endpoint's
yeah, good luck against
style.
BDS, first of all.
They're not the mechanical wizards that consistently try and break people down like that. That's just not what they do. And so if you start losing at your own game, which is a decent, strong defensive approach with a good counterattack, I don't know what options you have.
You can see a different mood as we were looking in on Endpoint during that timeout. When they're up 3-0, all right, with a loose, just, all right, let's go. We're ready. Going into game 6, they're like, just kind of bite their fingernails. Like, are we really doing this? Can we just take care of business? It has been Steph Curry-esque what we've seen out of Seiko, though. No goals and 1 assist through the first 3 games. Since then, 4 goals, 2 assists. Seiko has been awakened, and he's trying to feed extra here, but Metzadoris will have that out to the side. Now Archie way downfield, and the mental jousting begins between BDS and Endpoint. Who's going to blink first in a critical 6th game? Yeah, what a read. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, like Relating Wave just hit the world of a pre-jump on that understanding of where that play was headed. Brilliant stuff, but I am curious to see what happens in the first 2.5 minutes of this game. I'm not too concerned if anybody scores, but if it is BDS, I want to see how Endpoint answers. Because I think Endpoint, while it's tied, happy to continue to try and play their own game. Try and go for the counterattack, try and lock down on defense, manage it best you can, and see if you can get something back the other way. But if they get scored on, that's when you really start to wonder what Endpoint's going to do about it.
You are never safe on your own back wall against Team BDS. We've seen them time and time again go after demolitions. They finally connected with one, maybe for the first time on the backboard just a moment ago. This goes out to Seiko. Another brilliant challenge sets up another Seiko goal.
Endpoint pushed way too far forward here. They definitely should be heading back. Oh, Archie and Relating Wave, it's actually a miscomm. They both turn for the same challenge, thinking they were going to buy time for the other. The challenge goes wrong, which leaves it wide open for Seiko to collect his 5th.
Oh boy. Archie will play this one for himself. Get everybody else out of the way. Doesn't work out. Monkey Moon with the clear. Now Seiko chasing this down as well. Couldn't get Relating Wave. Monkey Moon. Oh, rolled that out. I don't think he thought Extra was going to be there, but he was. Now Seiko beaten by Archie, but Monkey Moon is there as the safety valve behind the play. And Archie?
Oh,
time travel? He wasn't there a moment ago. Relating Wave lobs one downfield. Metz is right there, so too is Seiko. High bouncer, easily read by Monkey Moon. And Archie and Extra up at about the same time. Metza with the save. Still a 1-0 BDS lead. But oh boy, I worry about Endpoint now as BDS and threatening immensely to add to it.
That's really where you start to see that speed of BDS. The increase in the pace of play is going to start to pay dividends here because they just understand, okay, the ball's going here, and hey, you can't miss the ball like that. Thankfully, Relating Wave is there, but oh, Endpoint, the cracks are showing.
Oh, Relating Wave caught him, and he'll score. Relating Wave stymied in game 5, comes through here with a big one in game 6 after Archie gets that monstrous challenge, and Relating Wave ties the game. A big sigh of relief for Endpoint fans.
And Extra saw that ball going out towards the middle. He cut in front, and it just pinballed off the other Endpoint player.
What a bump.
And that's a huge bump to give Endpoint a lead. Welcome down the red carpet. That's 2 for Endpoint.
Oh, just the way opened up after that bump at midfield. Archie will score, so he had the challenge that set up the first one. He'll finish the second. And now it's Endpoint that's turned this game, and it's turned Europe on its head. Relating Wave. Oh, he found the soft spot in the defense on the back wall. Nobody could get a clear shot off as Extra will launch one sideward, and Extra's got the second touch. Seiko's down there as well. He's got Monkey Moon waiting, got the demolition, but could not finish the play. Relating Wave spawning on ball side, by the way. That puts him in a real awkward spot, but this rolls right out for Archie, and he will take that away from Extra coming on. It's almost like he kind of held that ball out and baited him in a little bit, and then beat him at the last moment, but now Monkey Moon. Lob downfield with Extra to his left, waiting underneath for a rebound. None coming as it goes to the side.
And BDS is looking incredibly willing to send all 3 right here. Throw some demos through the back line of the defense coming from the opposite side. Seiko one-on-one, tipped up by Relating Wave. Archie and Metza both go for it. Monkey Moon's able to stall it in the corner. And BDS, they know they would like to remain undefeated, as you said earlier in the split. And that's why they're so willing to get as aggressive as they can right now and put maximum pressure on that Endpoint defense. That's a big whiff.
If you're an Endpoint fan, Solary, Evil Geniuses, Dig, you're all holding your breath on every 50-50. This one, netward, and just a little wide. Extra could not catch up to it, but it did not matter. The post to the rescue.
On transition.
Back the other way. Seiko got the shot away, and Metza saved it.
Hello, Metza. Welcome back.
Oh, Metza here to make it. It's going to go. He scored. Metza was the decoy.
Oh, I don't believe it, Stacked. I don't believe it. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, can you imagine? 40 seconds left. If this score holds, Endpoint and Dignitas will clinch Worlds. Remember, nobody's clinching the major off of this, but clinching at least a spot at the wild card in Dallas. Archie ahead to Relating Wave. It would also mean that Evil Geniuses and Solary will not go to London. Relating Wave, double to put it away. No, 20 seconds left as Archie trying to waste a little more time. That's being very aggressive with a 2-goal lead. Extra now to Seiko. 15 seconds. Relating Wave, another big win. And Extra, all he can do is dish this off to the corner. And Endpoint closing in on it. Extra led a little too far. 3 seconds. They're going to run out of time. Team Endpoint does what nobody else has done. They've beaten BDS in the spring.
Oh, man.